The Red Sea. A warship is burning. The interceptors never even fired. Stay with me, because this is not the story of one ship. This is the story of a calculator. The story of a shield. And the moment, the math that connects them both just broke. For months, the U.S. Navy held the line in the Red Sea. A wall of steel and software against a swarm of cheap drones and subsonic missiles. The defense was professional. The defense was effective. But the cost was staggering. A cost measured not just in dollars, but in a finite inventory of interceptors. Then, today, a new threat appeared on the board, one that ignores the calculator entirely. Let's talk about the defensive architecture. The centerpiece is the Arleigh Burke-class destroyer, a multi-billion-dollar platform designed for total air and sea control. Its shield is the Aegis combat system. Its sword is a battery of standard missiles stored in the vertical launch system. This system was designed to fight a superpower, to track and destroy advanced aircraft and ballistic missiles. It was not designed for a war of attrition against an enemy with nothing to lose. An enemy willing to trade a $20,000 drone for a $2 million interceptor over and over again. Let's talk about the math. A U.S. Navy destroyer carries a finite number of interceptors, roughly 90 missiles. The Houthi forces have launched hundreds of attacks since November 2023. Every interception is a victory that makes a ship weaker. Every successful defense drains the magazine. Reloading is not a simple task. It requires returning to a secure port, a process that takes weeks. The U.S. Navy has been winning every battle while bleeding its strategic reserve of interceptors. This is the first layer of the broken math, the economic unsustainability. You cannot win a war by firing million-dollar assets at disposable threats indefinitely. The enemy does not have to sink your ship if they can simply empty its magazine. Let's talk about the Aegis system's reaction time. From detection to destruction, the entire process is a race against time. Against a subsonic drone or cruise missile, this loop takes seconds, but the target gives you minutes. The radar sees it, the system classifies it. The fire control calculates a solution. The interceptor launches. There is time for a second shot. There is time to use cheaper, closer-range defenses. The system works. The layers of defense are robust. The entire architecture is built on the assumption that you will have this time. But what happens when the threat moves too fast? What happens when your entire decision loop is longer than the flight time of the missile? This is the second layer of the broken math, the physics of time and distance. Your defenses can't shoot what they can't process in time. Let's talk about the new weapon. The Houthis claim to have a missile traveling at Mach 8. That's 8 times the speed of sound, over 2.5 kilometers per second. But speed is only half of the problem. The real threat is maneuverability. A ballistic missile is like a thrown rock. Its path is governed by physics and is predictable. A hypersonic glide vehicle is like a paper airplane thrown by a god. It can change direction at any moment. You cannot hit a target if you do not know where it will be. Not a targeting problem, not an interceptor problem, a geometry problem. The Aegis system was not designed for this. The standard missile interceptors are not fast enough or agile enough. The entire defensive posture of a U.S. warship, the most powerful air defense system on the planet, is predicated on assumptions that are now void. This is the final, fatal layer of the broken math, the technological checkmate. It doesn't matter how many interceptors you have if 0 of them can hit the target. Your inventory of effective weapons is 0. Let's talk about the cascade. A successful hypersonic strike does not just damage one ship. It proves the risk is no longer manageable. Global shipping insurance is based on calculable risk. An undefendable hypersonic missile is not a calculable risk. It is a certainty of loss. The rates will not just rise, they will become infinite. The route will become uninsurable. Every container ship, every oil tanker will be forced to reroute around Africa. This adds weeks to shipping times and millions in fuel costs to every voyage. The cost of that delay, that fuel, will be passed on to every consumer in every country. A single missile fired from Yemen changes the price of milk in Ohio. From this morning forward, the ocean is different. It means the age of unquestioned American naval supremacy is over. The aircraft carrier, the symbol of power projection for 80 years, is now a target protected by a broken shield. It means that asymmetric warfare has reached its logical conclusion. A regional militia can now hold the global economy hostage with a single advanced weapon system. The source of that system, whether Iran or another power, is secondary. The capability has proliferated. The technology is in the wild. It means the next war will not be fought with thousands of ships, but by the handful of weapons that can bypass their defenses. The United States now faces a choice. Escalate kinetic strikes inside Yemen to destroy the threat before launch, or withdraw its naval assets, conceding the sea. There is no third option. There is no defense. The math is broken. The shield is shattered. The sea is burning.